Meet the third music artist whose works have crossed paths with this channel before, but apparently has gotten bitten by the AI bug, so to speak. If we are speaking specifically of visualizers and artistic illustration techniques. And it's been a bit of a growing phenomenon. Consider past cases if you've taken journeys with me among other groups and recent talents. I'm thinking specifically of Within Temptation, Set the Sun. They've also employed AI artifice tools into their work, and I Never Obey Again is the newest entry to join that circle. It's been an evolving phenomenon, and one that, it's quite funny, as AI itself is a growing presence in our world, for better or worse. I'm going to lean more on the latter. I've said in the past that I do think if we can exercise some forceful control over the spread of the technology, and I think that's going to be a big feat in itself, I think it has a good life ahead of it. In the music world specifically, considering visual applications and different ideas portrayed with the AI artistic method, which is itself quickly adapting. In fact, in recent survey, great example of this, look to Within Temptation specifically if you want to study this phenomenon, if you haven't already observed it for yourself, from wireless to bleed out and ritual in that order, and notice how quickly the technology upgrades. I don't know what we're going to see with Never Obey Again, other than I believe this is mimicking the same type of style. That's what was implied by a lot of the social postings, that Stronger was going to be getting a visualizer release. One of the tunes we've humored previously, again, some of you might recognize this name, we took a deep dive with their entire album, Previous Encounters, and a journey that, like any music talent on this channel, I don't regret in any way. I've said many times, first love in my life in terms of the artistic languages, and it's, I think, better to enjoy music collaboratively, especially on new discovery respects, and I cover a good range here in terms of artistic names, intentionally, right? Plenty of well-known artists, especially among the European regards, again, where Never Obey Again is from, if you're not aware, of Italian origin and a modern metal voice. And like every other music talent of this channel, of which there's been not one exemption to this, I really think we have a bright future ahead for this group. And it's been interesting to watch their progress from our early initiation with The Storm. Also considering Stronger, as I credited before, again, we took a survey of the entire album, this track included, and I did give you a more detailed encounter based on a first impression with that song earlier on. And maybe some thoughts will intersect here, although this is, I would imagine, this is going to become an interesting experience. So I haven't listened to Stronger specifically in a bit, so I'm taking a bit of a reflective journey here and a reintroduction myself to the work, though the visualizer will be entirely fresh. But generally, I'm going to probably spend more time in terms of the evaluation of this song. Some thoughts might intersect again from the original release, but if you want a greater deep dive of the song specifically, those thoughts are already made public. This is going to consider the new face specifically to Never Obey Again with the AI art inclusion, which I've said this with the credit of Never Obey Again and many other individual emerging talents on this channel. Again, I have a soft spot for smaller names specifically. It's fun to engage with many well-known talents. Of course, I've covered a good range in that, but specifically under lesser-known names or evolving artists, there's quite a beauty when you introduce yourself on Origin, you take that journey alongside others, right, and the group themselves. And with Never Obey Again, especially, it's rare that I come across the respects of Italian, let's be broader than that, European artists in early days. It's usually on a late introduction. This is a self-diving journey I've taken into this realm of the world, and maybe you've not stepped foot yourself into the European foray. I would recommend it. Their metal library is absolutely dope with a good number of artists, and we come back to this space quite often. Well, again, even beyond that, I cover international artists. I try to keep, again, a wide lens, because there's talent generally in the world, and Never Obey Again is a perfect example of this among international borders if you've never humored them before. And specifically of Italian regard, there's quite a strong library among Scarlet Records, and Never Obey Again is a rather new addition, but one that I think, again, has a promising future ahead of them. If you've not introduced yourself to them before, Stronger will be your initiation, but I would recommend you go down the entirety of The End of an Era. It's a promising album. You'll see the versatility in terms of tune exploration. There's quite a good range to this group. As modern metal in particular allows, there's a good versatility and diversity of sound quality and execution exercised within the specific genre of what I've noticed from time to time, though there are mainstay metal elements that might, act as parallels and associations between works. There is a distinct voice with this particular styling that, with the wide field of application it allows and permits, Never Obey Again has quite a broad album in reach, in particular, though there are, again, cohesive threads between each track in particular, whether it be on the instrumental strengths or on the vocals. Carol's voice is incredible. Plus, I have a soft spot for your European accents that instantly appeals. And in respect to that, the vocals here just really shine. If you've never introduced yourself, though, to Never Obey Again, this will be your initiation experience. I can't wait for you to have a deep dive with them. And for me to get reminded again of the prowess of Stronger. As I said, generally, this album was in full entertaining. But let's add a whole new perception. It'll certainly widen our field of understanding with the piece, and maybe it'll make some things known about it, in particular, I'd say, intended direction on narratives. I mean, Never Obey Again is written from a bit of a broad lens before, but some of their numbers have taken specific routes. Maybe through the power of AI, we'll witness that narrowing of focus together. Let's see. And however you approach in terms of your knowledge of this group, new fan or initiator listener, or longtime fan, maybe you took the journey alongside me in advance. We're approaching another work together that we're going to enjoy in company. Let's have a fresh encounter and a fun experience, as music always allows. Stronger really is so reminiscent to the core of the album as we were first introduced to Never Obey Again Identity. It sounds so similar to the Storm.
With your style, it will make me stronger. You will make me stronger. Rumors, lies, and gossip just sprinkle like corianders. Get a grip on what's real, or does it sound like a threat?
It already feels quite contemporary. I remember the root on this song. It was something special. You see the props on the vocals, right? There's such a precise control on this song. So now we get the figurative imaginings of AI. You know, this particular video is touching on a lot of extremes of what the technology brings in.
I got these bare hands to find my way there. I push myself to gain some power, abuse and sour. I feel my body slowly sinking. I've been pretending I knew some sort of pain would get me to the point you could respect me. I let you get into my head. I know you back me too quick.
That's a great piece. See the mixture of the I would say it crosses borders of modern metal as well, specifically the lyrical styling. But certainly the core of the song again embodies that fun rock metal voice, so it's true to the definition of the song is intended. That climb is great, isn't it? As I said, evolving group. So it's kind of like a story being told from two views. No matter how you look at it, we're taking a backwards-forwards journey. Displaced in time. Sort of. Similar score constructions to the Storm. You again see the similar riffs, right? If you've heard that song before. It's not bad. It feels again quite contemporary or complementary to where we are in terms of album tracking. Again, I might not be a fan of AI generally, but I kind of watch that, and like I have previous encounters and thought to myself, it might be kind of fun to try and experiment around the technology. I wouldn't know what to do. And I mean, even with my, how many years I've spent in terms of running this channel and video management and production, I only have a certain, set of skills that I've had to self-teach. So AI would be a whole other level that might be a bit too complex for me. I mean, I don't know what it takes to make... I don't know, do you have to design all these images by hand? Or does it just imagine them for you? Like, how easy is this technology in terms of management? I'll tell you, though, the pictures it creates, it's really impressive to me. And again, like I said, specifically with what I'm seeing in the metal market, watching the adaptation of implications and ideas explored, whether it be specifically or broadly within musical scores and particular tracks, to watch AI apply its voice specifically and create simulations that are, I'll tell you, this is, again, like I said, I have incredibly mixed feelings on AI. I don't particularly like to use it myself, though, again, I give license to it being in the music space. Though I was Googling something the other day, I was looking up a song, I think, in terms of artist intention, if declared. I couldn't tell you who the artist was. And one of the displayed suggestions was a website. I might get the URL mixed up if I specify, I don't want to source it wrong, but I clicked on it, and I'm reading this thing, and I get to the bottom of the page, and I thought it was like, this is a thorough exploration. Like, it went point by point in terms of detailed analysis in the song, and I get to the bottom, and it says, powered by AI. And I'm like, so the entire translation I read in terms of song identity and exploration was written by a computer? I'm telling you, the technology is, I might live in the 21st century, but even I'm shocked by the reach we're at. It's always a surprise, though, when you consider the visualizer method specifically. And I've, again, given similar credits to previous groups, like Within Temptation specifically comes to mind. Again, with the wartime imagery, I think instantly back to Wireless. You speak about lyrical interpretation told by visualizer methods, and that video just perfectly nailed it on energy and sentiment. That song is so good. I highly recommend that one in particular if you've not introduced yourself to Wireless or Within Temptation. That number, you'll see, again, the expertise on AI exploration. This one's particularly interesting because it's a bit more widespread than I imagined it would be. I mean, you certainly have images that they feel quite contemporary, especially in the times that we live in, given recent events that anybody knows. But you can still generalize it. It's fun how this is a song that very much, again, when you watch this, is displaced in time with the visualizer specifically. I mean, the song itself, I think, has great appeal. It does, again, carry on the inspirational and cathartic spirit that I love so much of in rock music, and what pushed me so deeply into being a metalhead for many years. But within this video, it's not narrow. It feels, you could look at this from the perspective of, it's a past exploration of history or a contemporary in the moment sentiment told through art of just, a real world experience that we can be sensitive to in a figurative retelling or futuristic concept. And then you get to maybe the paradise imagery. Again, I'm just going off of no declared intent by the artist. This is just what I'm pulling out of it. A paradise setting, again, like I said, we jump around quite a bit, more than I've seen in past explorations. I guess if I had to sum this up, at least the way I'm reading with regards to Stronger's video, it almost reads to me like the band is setting, again, this is just my interpretation to be clear, like the band is putting a foot in multiple doors. You watch the different segments as they play out, right? From the initiation with the war imagery to the paradise house. That's such a beautiful picture, by the way. To the open or the dark hallway with the gargoyle statues on the side and the cyberpunk futuristic-like cityscape. It kind of reads to me, again, like there's multiple ideas here. Though, considering the tracks we have left that have not received visualizer components, we are now 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 in out of 9 minus the introduction. So we would have 3 left. So if this were like a melding of, if there were, let's say, a 12-track album, and these were, with 5 tracks left to recognize besides ones that get visualizers, and then each video would pull one particular image idea from this video and display it there accordingly with the song that is chosen for that application. Or this could be maybe future for Never Be Again, distant releases. I don't know. It just reads to me almost like an idea pitch. This is our first foot in the door in terms of AI exploration, and I'm seeing different traits of what, again, I've witnessed on other group displays, whether it be in the more figurative or literal, or literally adjacent, I think is a better way to term it. It's a really interesting concept to me. Because, again, it's not necessarily, it isn't strictly defined. and is quite broad itself, even beyond the song, which again, like I said, has a fun spirit to it, great groove. I love the energy of the number, and is a fitting attribute to a wonderful album. But you add the visualizer side in, and it's impressive. It's a grand concept, and one that I would love to see further explored down the road. I wonder, though, if it would be so split in terms of image destination, like this one is. Or if it would be like one subject per video. Again, like I said, it feels like a melding for future pitches of more to come. And that could be the case, I don't know. Because some of the images themselves here from what I'm watching are kind of like, I'd like to see a specified story with this. Who knows? You never know with AI. But with Never Obey Again, if things come to light, I'm sure it'll be a fun journey, like we're having together. Again, quicker than I expected in terms of return, but to highlight this group again, and to give recognition to a very talented emerging artist, which I love doing. Again, whenever I can plant roots for anybody, it's a mission of mine here, or submission, not just to enjoy good music for my own interest, but alongside you, of course, but perhaps some of you, again, approach on an initiation perspective of Never Obey Again, if this is your first waiting. I would love to hear if you feel compelled to dig deeper, and for me, you totally should. That's a recommendation. And you longtime fans, what do you think about this new aspect of realization to Stronger? I mean, again, the song in itself is beautifully defined as a Never Obey Again piece. You can certainly see the roots, and it's a great attribute, a fun number, great moods to it, good swings in terms of versatility in regards to metal application, different stylizations. Again, the vocals specifically, even with that hip-hop root, really dynamic work, quite broad. I'd say that's the best core of what I can say with Stronger's identity. It's a broad piece, not only in song, but visualization form. We might be returning to roots in terms of the AI display, where with other groups who've seen it get even more finessed. And this definitely feels like an early days window in the technology where it was in the beginning. But it's always fun to experience the growth. And like I've said, I never thought I would be giving license to this in terms of AI. I was always really opposed to the idea, but yet I'm saying I'd love to see more done with it in the music space. Never Obey Again is our newest entry. Who will be next? I don't know. It seems like everybody's going to be doing this, but it makes me curious to see more. I think with the application here, it'll be another fun layer to add into a group that already has good promise ahead of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.